Welcome to Archeotech Assimilation, where we discover and investigate the technology of the Imperium and the tools of chaos. Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Archeotech Assimilation. As always, we are continuing with our reviews of the animated Angels of Death series. My name is John, and today I'm joined by Dave. How are you doing, buddy?
Not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So we're on to episode 9. We've only got one left after this, and this episode is called Slaughter. How did you find this one?
Best episode so far.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it has some good twists in it. I think there was some good action. Overall, very, very good. It's sort of, this is where everything's been leading to. We're finally here, and we've obviously, as you can see, we've finally met the Dreadnought. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get into it. So,
let's do it.
If you haven't already, go and check out the previous reviews on the channel. We'd like to hear what you guys think about this video and those videos. Especially go and check out last week's, because Shane stepped up and did it all by himself, and it was just as good as always. Of course it was. So go and check that out and show Shane some love for that. So as always, we're going to go through the beats of the story and discuss what we like and dislike. So take this as your spoiler warning as we start episode 9. Slaughter! You've got to say it like that. So where do we begin? So pre-credits starts in darkness until a red light ignites like a fire from the sarcophagus of Brother Ignis. With heavy footsteps, he emerges from the holding bay onto the deck, swarming with cultists, and he just bellows, I am merciless fury, I am cleansing rage, I am the angel's vengeance. And he just starts hosing down cult guys left, right and centre. Hadriel's with him, and sort of says, once the bay's clear, I'll get to the control panel and disengage the ship. And Ignis says he will clear the way with fire, and brings out the heavy flamer. So after that intro, we get a quick glimpse of the AdMech and what she's up to. She's riding up on the lift shaft with her servitors, and she's sort of saying like she's happy with the progress that everyone's making for her. And then we jump back to Orfeo and the Blood Angels, who are still holding back the wave of cultists outside the entrance to where the Broodlord is. Orfeo and the bald gene stealer dude face off, and that little guy, he moves like Yoda from Clone Wars, and he's just whizzing about. He manages to get a decent wound on Orfeo, stabbing him right in the gap on his armor under the armpit, puts him onto his knees, and Orfeo sort of spills out blood. He takes a minute, pulls himself together, and just shouts, "Only in death does duty end." And we see as a close-up of the wound stop bleeding, and the blood clots. He gets back up, kills a couple of gene stealers that were too close, and they continue quickly. The bald guy jumps in the air, and Orfeo gives him the Darth Maul treatment and cuts him in half. And you just see the light leave this guy's eyes as he's laying on the floor.
I did like that bit. That did make me laugh, because he was just like, actually, I'm just going to stop bleeding. So I've decided to stop bleeding, and then I'm going to kill you. So, But yeah, I think that was quite a cool bit.
Nice try. No, thank you. That was cool. So then we move on into the chamber. A couple of the Blood Angels, Kazarian and Ancaeus, make it through where the female is in there, and she screams "Defilers" at them and runs away. They point their bolters at her before she runs away, and this bloody huge Broodlord just jumps in front of her, and I'm pretty sure that at least one of the angels probably crapped themselves, because you just see them all flinch, which was pretty funny. Then she runs away, and they start blasting at her, and they have at the Broodlord, with no effect. And one dude just gets backhanded through a pillar. Another guy gets stomped on, and Kazarian sends Ancaeus after the female cultist leader, and then he quickly gets slammed into a wall and sort of taken out briefly. You got a really great scene, I think, here. You got the guy who's had one arm for a while, who's just been like comic relief for the whole show, and he's just shooting and screaming "Purge the unclean" at this broodlord. Runs out of ammo, and the thing turns and stares at him, so he just lobs the bolter and like clocks him straight in the head. I just thought it was quality. And
when he picked him up, and then he's just like he punched it. It's like,
yeah,
go, isn't it?
You see in the picture, he gets picked up, and he's just like looking around and just hits him with one arm. And I was actually quite sad when he got his head bitten off, though, because he was a good character.
Yeah, he was.
And he didn't like take any shit, and he was never down like this whole mission. He was just a bit of a laugh the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he dead now. So Ancaeus manages to catch up to the Gene Stealer female leader, and she uses some sort of force lightning against him, which slows him down. I'm not too sure what the force lightning is. Like, I don't know. Do you know what it is? I don't know much about like Gene Stealers and stuff.
No, I don't know 100%, but it seems like some sort of smite power. So maybe it's a visual representation of smite to make it make more sense. But I don't know, because he seems to be bleeding from the eyes, so
yeah,
he probably was just trying to like turn his brain into mush or something.
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually, because we've seen that she's a bit of a psycho anyway, so that makes sense. But if you guys do know, leave a comment down below and educate us, please. But anyway, he's able to withstand it, like with the grace of the angels, and marches towards her. As he gets hold of her, she tells him that we are eternal, kill us, and our rage shall follow you. And he says, we will be there to crush you, and lobs her through the window. And as she's falling, he just looks down and says, you know nothing of rage. And she falls quite a long way from the top of the tower and bounces headfirst off of a giant Aquila. And like there's just a big bloody splat there. And I like it when it comes back up to Ancaeus, like that image there. I just thought that looked really cool. It was like pretty satisfying that he's finally managed to like actually kill something. And then we move on to the bridge of the ship with the crew waiting for the doors to be breached. The destruction countdown is on to 5 minutes. And we see, I think he's the pilot has got like a massive bleed coming out of his stomach. And the captain just says, like, I expect you to be at your station ready to get us out of here. And he says, yeah, I'll do that, no problem. And she just goes, I expect nothing less, and sends him off. Like, no one even tries to treat him. They just send him back to wait. Meanwhile, like the dreadnought is plowing through the ship, Hadriel at his side, and they're just mincing bad guys, and get to the control panel. And when he gets there, initially it says like override is forbidden. And Hadriel curses, saying to it, spirit of the machine, heed me. And in the background, you can just see the dreadnought getting swarmed by Gene Stealers and actually gets pulled down to the ground. He's still shooting, but he's on the floor. And Hadriel continues with the machine. And he's sort of just like saying, he's like, let my fears be at peace and perform my will. And amazingly, he punches it and it works. So it's like, not only is it a trick that we use now, but even in like 40K, we're still doing the same stuff. But it works, and the clamps which were holding the ship captive are released. And they come away from the dock, which is now open, and all the Gene Stealers that were swarming get sucked out into space. The ship starts to come free, and Hadriel does a run, jumps over the boundary, like the gap in space from the dock back into the ship, and stands there watching like the Gene Stealers getting sucked out. And he just stands there and goes, very satisfying. He's watching them all go. So the ship moves off, smashing into all the smaller enemy ships that were in the way, and moves away finally from where it was trapped. Back in the tower, Kazarian is facing off with the Broodlord, and he's holding the vial of blood given to him earlier by Mephiston. And we see a couple of people's images. Like first is Orfeo, then it's Raphael, then another guy sort of swarming around him. Yeah, calling him brother. And then he's like, no, and starts chanting like the normal sort of thing that they do, and begins cutting at the Broodlord with his chainsword. He gets a couple of good hits in, but doesn't really do too much damage. And the beast like smashes into his chest, which drops him to the floor. Like I wasn't expecting it. He literally
goes down. Getting hyped up for him to get in the Black Rage. And just go to town on the fucking Broodlord, but it was literally as if he's getting all confident, and the Broodlord's just like backhand. No,
it was so out of nowhere, wasn't it? Like it was like three hits were like punch, 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 and you're just expecting it to get better and better, and all of a sudden it just goes quiet, and you see like his face, he can't believe it, and it's not like he just drops, doesn't he, like a ton of bricks onto the floor. What a shock. But Ancaeus was stood behind him. He's come back after killing the leader and sees Kazarian drop, and he's absolutely horrified, and he just shouts, "What have you done?" And we zoom into his face, and his eyes change immediately and like glow with fire, and you just see the Broodlord's image blur and change the shape of Horus. And he just leaps in at this Broodlord, which instantly like smashes Ancaeus's chest, and you just see like really bad gore come from him. But it doesn't faze him. He's just like smashing all over this Broodlord, jumps on his back, and we see while they're fighting, flashes of Ancaeus and the Broodlord change to like a fight between Horus and Sanguinius. Eventually, it throws him off and dives at him, but Ancaeus stabs out with his sword straight through its face. And as this thing falls down and dies, it gives out its death cry, and the Genestealer cult and cultists begin to retreat. Like no matter where they are, whether they're in space or on the ship or wherever, they all start running around, absolute in chaos. The Space Marines outside continue like blasting them as they're going, but we see like Orfeo appears to be slumped, doing not too much on the ground nearby, obviously from his wound earlier.
I think going back to the fight with the Broodlord, I think that was the cinematography in that was so good. Like even to like the small details of like the Broodlord's clawed hand, and then the Talon of Horus. It's just really, really well done. I thought it was probably the best scene in the whole series so far. Really, really well done.
It was good, and we've been waiting for someone to succumb as well. Again, not who we expected.
No, not at all. I think it was a nice surprise, because I think that was the whole point, wasn't it? Is that everyone was waiting. For it to be what's his face, the other one. But then when Ancaeus was just like, no, actually, it's me, surprise. It just shows that any of them can succumb. And even Orfeo was looking as if he might.
When he got like stabbed, when he was getting back up, I thought, oh, maybe that's him then. Maybe that's him. But I think as well, it works well, because obviously like the whole character arc from episode 1, these two, they were obviously very close once upon a time before Kazarian went off on his on his trip and then came back, and then there was obviously that tension all the way through the series where they just weren't getting on, which they slowly through the battles they've rebuilt the friendship and realized they're still battle brothers. And then him seeing what we believe like Kazarian get killed has just set him off, because he's been holding it together and telling him to stay strong and I'll look after you, don't worry. And then he's like, it's not worked for him. So it's powerful for them, but we'll see. I really like it. It's been really, really well done so far, and it'll be interesting to see sort of how episode 10 handles everything, see who's actually left. But just to finish the episode, so we see like the Space Angel ship blasting all the enemy flotilla to pieces. We see cultists getting off left, right, and center, and Chaos sort of stumbles and falls to the floor, and we see the rage leave him. And as he sort of dies, we see a solitary feather float out of the sky towards his body, and the episode ends.
Cheeky little nod to Sanguinius there.
Yeah.
I did want to know what happened to the Dreadnought though, because you see him go down with a load of gin stealers.
Yeah.
And that's it. He didn't look like he was dead.
No, he was. He was still shooting, and I don't. Like,
it didn't look like he got back in the ship with Dead Marine. So
no, but he's in the tower, the same tower where the angels are.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's not completely lost at the minute, I don't think. And he's definitely not dead. He's definitely not dead because he was he's still blasting the whole time he was on the floor. And I don't think anybody got through. But we'll see. You never know. We'll see on episode 10. We'll know who's left, because I don't think Kazarian's dead. I think that was just a really bad wound, and he'll be laying there bleeding out. There's no way they've just offed him like that. Surely not.
No, I can't see them. But then again, you just don't know. This is exactly what we're saying about Raphael.
Yeah, I think it was obvious. I think it was obvious he was dead. I just really didn't want him to be.
So if you say it was obvious, he got smashed in the face, and he's got like half his body missing.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
There's not too many of them left. I don't think Orfeo's going to make it out of this.
No, he didn't look very well.
What have we got to do now? So, like, the next episode is obviously everyone's got to get back up onto the ship. They've got to probably deal with this Admech woman. I don't imagine her surviving this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm imagining some sort of cleansing of the planet as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it may be that they call it in and the Inquisition come and just go, or
I think
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I think they'll get out of there somehow. Yeah, it's interesting to see who's still alive, because there really isn't many. I don't think Kazarian's dead yet. I think we'll get a couple more words out of him. I think Orfeo's probably gone. He didn't look too happy at the end there. But it's interesting. I really liked it. I thought there was like Hadriel was just like quality.
Yeah, he is. I think he's probably my favourite character overall.
Oh, we didn't mention, obviously, when the ship finally gets away, the pilot's there, and he's like, "We made it," and then just dies on the wheel. And that guy comes up and just sort of taps him on the shoulder, and then Livia's just standing there like smirking, like, "Oh, you did a good job, and you died for the cause," and that. No one cared. No ceremony in it.
I was just expecting a servitor with like a broom just to come and just
bash him out the way. Yeah, and I can't believe like no one even tried to like patch him up on that ship. I know it's not their priority, but Jesus Christ, I know, and no one cares, I guess, in this universe today.
That's it, isn't it? It's you die.
Right. Cool. So any other final thoughts before we go?
No, I'm looking. I don't know where the last one's going to go, because I've sort of got everything I wanted now. Everything that we've been sort of waiting and went. Yeah, so I'm interested to see where it goes, but
maybe the Tyranids will arrive and just eat, and it'll just be a really happy ending for the wrong people. Cool.
So as always, thank you for watching. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter just by searching Iron and Ceramite. You can use the hashtag Iron and Ceramite for a chance for us to promote you on our Instagram stories. Obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, then please check out the rest of our channel. We're starting to do battle reports as well, so definitely check out the last 2 videos on there. If you are listening, then we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and most good podcast services. Just search Iron and Ceramite as usual. We have a Twitch account, and John's been doing a few bits and bobs on there. We're hoping to get a bit more content out on that soon. So watch that space, like and subscribe any of the videos that are already on there. We do have a Patreon. We are looking at getting a lot more on there. So if you do like what we do, then please support us in that way. If you are buying any of your hopefully new Black Templars or any other minis, then please check out Element Games and use our link. We get a bit of a kickback from that, and that will obviously all go straight back into the channel. And then join on combat cards as well. Just Iron and Ceramite is our clan, and I haven't been on it in ages because I just felt so far behind, but I imagine it's Glenn and Shane still up there.
Always.
So yeah, go give them a run for their money, and thank you for watching.
See you later.
As always, we would like to thank you for listening to our Iron and Ceramite podcast. If you liked us, then you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and any other good podcast services. Just remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.